Generic greetings and welcome to 60 Seconds Reatomized. Today's post-apocalyptic survival beverage is a nice Nuka-Cola. Actually, not really. It's as close as I could manage, which in this particular case is Diet Pepsi. So probably not at all like Nuka-Cola because Nuka-Cola is A, cola, and B, it's probably full of sugar. Actually, no, it is full of sugar. Let's go to new game and I'll show you a little bit of what this thing has to offer. It is essentially a story-driven game about surviving in a bunker, and it's very tongue-in-cheek, a very dark, humorish, and quite a decent thing. It's something I picked up in my quest to play as many games as I could about bunkers and survival. So let's go to the apocalypse mode. We're going to play Dolores as our main character and the Fat Man difficulty. What we do, we have 60 seconds in order to gather resources, and then so it's a bit of a strange one. It's this first 60 seconds of the game are completely different to the rest of it. So you run around, you gather resources, put them in the shelter, and then you have to essentially survive. Let's see how we get on. So I'm going to go in here and pick up loads of soup and such, and there's a radio up there, so I think radio is probably one of the best things you can get. So we're picking up soup, and there's some water. You can only pick up a certain number of items in your hand at the one time, so I'm going to put that down there, and oh, it looks like there's a rifle there, so we'll pick that up, as well as there's a fire axe back there as well. So we've got a fire axe, we have a rifle, which should be quite useful. We should also probably bring some family along as well. There's a padlock, there's a set of playing cards. Let's run and get some soup. We've only got 30 seconds left, so we're going to run in here, drop them down there, and where are the family members? Well, there's someone there. We'll pick up some ammo there, which is going to be quite useful for the rifle. Put them down. Where is the rest of them? There's someone in here. Oh, there's the husband, I'm guessing, and get some more soup. We are running out of water, so I'm going to have to quickly run and get as much water as I can. Oh, there's a suitcase, there's some water there, and I think that's about us. So quickly run towards the end, and I think that is it. There we go. We jumped down the hole, and boom. We didn't get all the family members. I believe we left little Timmy upstairs, and there you go. So we have got some resources and different items, and these items will hopefully help us in our survival. I'm getting loads of achievements. I should only point out I've played about 2 hours of the game, so there's many different ways of playing it. I've tried it with just one person, and I think it was I played him, and I think I brought his daughter down, and we had loads of supplies and stuff, but then I ran out of water. Played with a full family, didn't go so well. Anyway, so this is the bunker where we have to survive, and you can see all of the stuff we've collected on the back there, but the main thing now is basically click on this book. So day one, we got to the shelter just in time. Good thing Mary Jane didn't bring her tuba. Yes, I agree, the fan noise here is bad enough. Wait a second, where's Timmy? Uh-oh, Timmy's upstairs. We can't remember bringing those supplies down to the shelter, but we're not complaining. We probably should have stocked it better anyway. So +1 gas mask, so for free. Hey, look what we found in the suitcase we grabbed upstairs. Good thing we didn't unpack our holiday luggage. +1 chess set, or checkers I think that is there. Our shelves are full of cans. We'll eat from cans. We'll sleep on cans, we'll even talk to cans. And that is actually quite true if you start going insane. Some of us already do. There's just barely enough water for everybody. That is a problem. We will still have to ration it strictly. This is the best stocked shelter we've ever seen. We've never seen another one, but we're sure it's a good amount of supplies. So that's our little day one story there. So we have now the option to start to feed people, and you can give them either water or you can give them some food. Now, we're not going to do any of that this day because, well, quite frankly, you need to ration it, so we'll go to next. Day one. Oh dear, we just remember plan on taking the trip south in 2 months. If it's still there, we are going right. Pretty sure they didn't bomb. They don't bomb warm places. Fair enough. So we're going to go for that next one. That's just a little chat there. And then we'll go to the next day. You have the option to send people out as well, and you'll get different events pop up, and you can see it changes. Like he basically starts growing a beard, and everyone gets a bit more disheveled and stuff. So day two. We're not going to read out all of this, by the way, but we'll go through the majority of it for the first, say, 7 days or so. Maybe moving away won't be too bad. We can probably make new friends, meet new people, provided everyone is still alive, that is. Or anyone is still alive, should I say. If there was anything to report about Dolores, this is where it would have been written. Ted says there's no need to worry about him, he's okay. Mary Jane says she's fine and doesn't need anything. So the next day, do you want to feed people? No. If we can mouse over here and it'll show you if there's any problem. So Ted, Dolores, and Mary Jane are fine. So we're going to go to the next page, which is who should go outside. Ted seems to be in really good shape for a trip. Dolores is in pretty good shape. ship. Mary Jane is more than ready to go outside and scavenge. So you can send anyone you want, but I'm just going to say yes, we do want someone to go outside. So schedule for tomorrow. Next page. Day 2, we felt like something was staring at us from the corner of the shelter. We think it's a rat at least. It looks like a rat on a very good diet. We decided we need to do something about it, or, put it more bluntly, it's either him or us. We can either use the axe or the rifle. I'm going to use the axe in this particular case, and then we'll see what day 3 has to offer. In my only game that I've survived, I think I had all 4 members. No, it was either 3 or 4 members, and only 1 person survived. It was not a good time. Anyway, day 3, whatever it was, it's dead now, quite dead. Maybe there's more hiding somewhere in one of those nasty little holes. Water is all Dolores wants. Ted should drink something soon. Getting something to drink for Mary Jane sounds like the right idea. So people are starting to dehydrate. So you can see it's thirsty. So we'll say water, water, and water. I'm not going to give them any food because we don't need to, but we definitely need to get some water somehow. So next page, and here we are. Enough sitting around, it's time to visit the surface and look for some additional supplies. Maybe something survived the blast. Maybe someone is still alive. Let's find out. Who shall go outside? We're Ted, Dolores, or Mary Jane. I'm going to send out Ted. And you can see they can take something. We'll say take... you can take the suitcase, in which case you get more things, you can carry more things. I'm going to take the suitcase. I'm going to take the gas mask. And I'm going to take the rifle. And that should do us. And then next, and you should be able to hear, yeah, the door opening and closing. As things change, you will get, like, it'll change all in the background there. So, like, the soup cans will become empty, the place will get dirtier. As you gain items, it'll come here. Like, say, the people change, a bit more dishevelled and dirty. And if they're going insane, they'll be strange. I wonder if you can actually click on that. Click on the fly there. So, let's go. Ted left for the surface. We hope he'll be back soon. Equipment. He's took the suitcase, the gas mask, as well as the rifle. Dolores is no longer thirsty. Mary Jane is no longer thirsty. Soup. Who should we ration supplies with? Nobody's hungry or thirsty, so next page. So, we were about to start our book club discussion on the only book we've all read, the phone book. We were interrupted by rapid knocking at the door. We found out it was a group of refugees who survived the blast, just like we did. They were doing much worse than us, and begged us to provide them with any water, food, or medical supplies we could spare. Well, I don't have any medical supplies because I forgot to pick it up. That's a very, very bad thing. We don't have much water, but we do have a lot of soup, so I'm going to give them a full can of soup. Because we're just that kind of people. It didn't give us the option to give them bullets, though, but then again, we did take the rifle, so... that's also radiation clicking, which I don't like the sound of. Our visitors had problems finding enough words to express their gratitude. Many tears were shed, smiles and hugs exchanged, and they wished us all the best. It's a great feeling to be helping someone out. They left soon after to seek shelter in the ruins of our town. We hope they make it out there. -1 soup can. Dolores is quite calm given the situation. Mary Jane is feeling safe. Who wouldn't in this coffin-sized shelter? So again, we could feed people, but we don't need to because, well, they are fully fed. Well, they're not fully fed, actually. I don't think they're fed at all up until day 5. But until they get negatives, I don't think you need to. Maybe there's advantages of, like, you know, saying, yes, you have all the resources all the time. Certainly achievements, I'm guessing, but we're not going to do that for now. Next page. The trash can is becoming full of empty soup cans. I don't know how, because we haven't opened one, and that unmentionable bucket is overflowing. Both of them are attracting strangely glowing, suspiciously big insect wildlife. Roaches aren't that big before the war, were they? We have the option to use bug spray or scout handbook. We don't have either. Next. I believe this is the 3rd game in the, what we maybe call it, like the 60 series. There's 60 seconds, which is, well, basically like this. There is 60 parseconds, which is about surviving in space, so you have to gather stuff on a spaceship and then you launch. And then there's this, which is 60 seconds Reatomized, which, as far as I'm aware, is just like a newer version of the original 60 seconds. And that's a green glowing bug. Yuck, a mutant cockroach. You can click on these. Padlock, water. Bottles is 2.25. Dolores is thirsty and hungry. Mary Jane's thirsty. Portal radio. There you go. So, Oh my, that thing is huge, and there goes another one. Roaches everywhere. We're doomed. We already feel all dirty. Water is all Dolores wants. Dolores would really love to eat something. So water is not all Dolores wants. Literally unreadable. Water is what Mary Jane needs right now. So we're going to say, thirsty, hungry, yes, you can have both the soup and the water, and Mary Jane is thirsty, so you can have that. And then the next page. So day 6. After all the days we spent down here, we're not exactly clean. We smell bad, real bad. It didn't bother us until we noticed it, and now we're about to get sick. Why not take a shower? We don't have soap, but there are other considerations. There are other alternatives to consider. How is ammunition something you can clean with? Okay, my brain's doing somersaults and it's all coming up bad. Well, let's try it. Generally, they make a mess more than they make things clean. Anyway, we shall see what happens. And, oh, right. Dirty or not, it's the smell that is the biggest issue here. How we deal with that? Well, we've got some spare ammo, so why not use the gunpowder to kill the smell? Let's rub it in. Sounds like a brilliant idea. That is like the opposite of brilliant ideas. Dolores is no longer thirsty. Dolores is no longer hungry. Mary Jane is no longer thirsty, but she is now quite hungry. So, Mary Jane, you can have some soup. Right, there's been some radio chatter about airdrops from the military. It's about time, and those taxis had to pay for a crit or two for us, right? Taxes. What am I talking about? Shall we head out to them then? No, because we don't have a gas mask. So you can see that what you bring with you, and I guess what you don't have, is will alter the game and your choices. There you go. You can see we've got some soup that's half open there. So, it was too dangerous to go out without any protection, so we decided to stay indoors and listen to the radio. The static is so relaxing. Mary Jane is no longer hungry. Dolores is fine and well, as much as anyone can be fine and well in this tiny shelter. In terms of food, nobody's thirsty or hungry, so that is fine. In terms of options, day 8 seems that every cockroach we squish with our boots, 2 others like it take its place. It's time to do something about it before we get completely overrun. Well, unless Ted comes back with that rifle, there's nothing we can do, and that's a phone that I didn't realise we had down here. Okay, let's see what we have. Day 9. Our new cockroach roommates can be a bit messy, disgusting and annoying, but surely this is not the worst thing that could have happened to us, and there's not much we can do about it anyway. Maybe one day we'll manage to convince them to pay the rent. Dolores will not last long without water. Getting something to drink for Mary Jane sounds like the right idea. So once again, we're going to go with drink, and we're down to the last bottle and a bit of our water supply. In terms of day 9, it says, we didn't expect to get a phone call so soon after the atomic bomb drop, yet here we are. We can clearly hear a phone ringing outside. That mustn't be a very thick bunker then. It must be the public phone booth on the other side of the street. Should someone go and answer it? I will send out Mary Jane. And what is this? What's next? I'll make contact with other wastelanders. Fair enough. And I think that is it. Next. Let's see if we can make contact and, yeah, someone's gone. Oh, Ted is back and doesn't look in too bad a shape. When we answered the phone, we could clearly hear the gasp of relief from the caller. They introduced themselves as survivors from a nearby town of Hill Valley. We had started exchanging information when the call was cut short. Something must have gone wrong on their side. We hope they will get back to us. Ted has safely returned from his voyage to the surface. +1 gas mask, +1 rifle. But sadly, it doesn't look like he's brought back the suitcase. We tried our luck at the nearby bar, fittingly called The World's End. Good film, that. Usually, a respectful family like our own would never go there, but this time we gave it a shot, hoping to find some unclaimed goods. We didn't expect to find any clean water in the bar, but we weren't wrong. Whatever we found wasn't pure and it wasn't water, but hey, if it quenches thirst, it counts. +2 water. Excellent, that's what we needed. Damn it, we really like that suitcase. Well, it's gone now. Dolores is no longer thirsty. Ted's stomach is rumbling. Ted is really tired. Mary Jane is no longer thirsty. Mary Jane's diet could use a little food. So, what I'm reading from that is we sent Ted out on day, what was it? 2 or 3? And it's taken him a week to go to the bar across the road. Has Ted just been tying one on? Has he just absolutely had a proper week session with a copious amount of libations? I think so. Fair enough, Ted. Getting absolutely steaming. Next page. Time to ration supplies. Hungry and tired, so we'll give him soup. Nothing for Dolores. Hungry for Mary Jane there. So, in terms of day 10, yeah, we can say next someone to go outside. Mary Jane was rummaging through our belongings. She found a single plant seed. We have no idea what kind of seed it is, but maybe it's the start of something great. We're lucky it might be an apple tree or a cherry tree or something edible. We need to use a bottle of water to plant it. How about that? Right, well, if it's an oak tree, it's going to take so long to grow and be completely pointless in a shelter. Do I really want to use a bottle of water on it? I really don't. I really don't. I'm very tempted to see what the game would do, because it is the type of game that could just pop up and say, it's a tree you're trying to grow. You're not going to do that in 40 days. Anyway, next page. There are plenty of better ways to use our water. Yeah, like drinking it and surviving. If drinking it comes to mind, yeah, fair enough, fair enough. So Mary Jane will have to think of another way to occupy herself. It seems that Mary Jane took it harder than we thought. She really was emotionally invested in growing that plant. Ted's hungry, Ted has rested. All Ted wishes for is a few drops of water. Dolores really wants something to eat. Mary Jane is no longer hungry. So, Ted is hungry and thirsty, so you can have both. Dolores is hungry, and Mary Jane is just Mary Jane. In terms of sending someone outside, we will send Mary Jane because they seem to be fine, and we will give them... I'm going to send them out with the... Oh, do we really send them out empty-handed? I'll send them out with the gas mask. I'm keeping the rifle for the roaches, just in case. Day 12. How are we doing? No idea. But she's gone outside. Let's see what the rest is. Dolores is no longer hungry. Dolores can't remain thirsty for long. So Ted's hungry. Dolores is thirsty. Right. We can keep sitting on our backsides here in this tiny little bunker, or we can start thinking about getting away as far as possible from this radioactive wasteland. Not that we know that, because we haven't been outside yet. Well, all of us. I mean, Ted has, but he didn't report any massive glowing ones, or rad roaches, or giant scorpions, or death claws, or people in T60B power armor. Who would have thought the Reds would ruin such a lovely neighborhood? We could do it our own, the escaping part, but not the running part. Or ruining part, of course. However, there might be someone out there who can help us. Let's keep our eyes and ears open. Let's use the radio. I think the radio is one of the most useful things you can take. But then again, I don't know if the game is built so you can... unless you really mess it up, I don't know if the game will always fling you a bone and help you try to get along. Obviously, there'll be better ways of doing things, but I don't know if there's like a, well, if you don't pick this up, you've lost type thing. In fact, in my previous playthrough, I think I won without the radio. I just talked to people, Men in Black, I think it was. Not joking either, I'm pretty sure it was the Men in Black. Anyway, good news! The government made a radio broadcast about extracting survivors from our area. The announcer asked everyone listening to wait a while longer and expect further communication in a few days. We'll be out of here soon. Dolores is no longer thirsty, Ted isn't hungry anymore. So everybody is perfectly fine. Next page. And our patient's wearing thin. We thought it would be a good idea to take a quick look outside to see if there is any trouble in the area. As we are about to step out, a pair of animal eyes flashed in the darkness and their owner started growling in the most terrifying way. Okay. We only had moments to decide what to do. Poison, flashlight, or the rifle. So we'll use the rifle. 2 weeks now. 2 weeks in our little bunker. Quick shot with a rifle was more than enough to scare away or maybe bring down whatever creature stalked us in the darkness. We never saw it again. If Ted doesn't drink anything, it won't last long, and today's been fine for Dolores. Oh, well, that's nice to hear. Next page. So, high time we stopped wondering what's going on and started asking questions, or at least listened to some reasonable answers. So how about tuning to a radio station and learning a thing or two about the brave world? Brave new world, even. Excuse me. Day 15. I think I went up to day 42, 43 before I got rescued on my previous one. So there you go. Day 15. We're able to listen to a weak signal and tap into government's emergency announcement service. And guess what? Great news, everyone! The fallout outside is mostly gone. It should be much safer to travel on the surface now. Excellent. So Ted doesn't require anything, but Dolores is thirsty and hungry. So there we are. We were about to finish our dinner, if you can call it that, when we hear someone knocking on the door. It seems to be a trader who is very interested in ammunition. How about that? Checkers or ammunition? Well, there's an option to trade checkers, so I might as well do that. I've already got a deck of playing cards, so I don't think I need both. And that was some crazed laugh. We offered checkers instead of ammunition. The visitor was quite confused and tried to explain what ammunition is. We pretended to understand nothing. It was very amusing until left with our checkers board. Right. So, he's literally just left with a checkers board. We just give him a checkers board and that's it. Brilliant. Okay, right. So, Ted's hungry. Fair point. I mean, my fault. Mutant rodents are attacking our supplies. We're not sure if they're rats, feral bunnies, or just mutated hamsters. All of these options are pretty grim. We could spare ammunition or something else to get rid of every one of these pests. We'll use the rifle. Although using a rifle in here, that's a chance of ricocheting and stuff, I'm guessing. Let's go with the axe. And, ooh, that didn't sound good. Like a animal squish noise. And Ted's growing a bit of a scraggly beard there. Our Kansas save! Too bad for the hairy mutant. Guess we're still on top of the food chain. Good for us. Brilliant. So, Ted is thirsty. Dolores is fine. And then, roaches seem to get more organised with every passing day. At first it was just one or two of them. Now there's these small columns of them marching through the shelter. We need to deal with this situation before the civilization becomes superior to ours. I don't know if leaving it to escalate to that and they may become friendly, or there might be different events. I don't know. Either way, we've got the rifle. We're going to use the rifle. If you've got a rifle, you're going to use it, surely. Oh, and it sounds like Mary Jane is back. I wonder in what condition. So, victory is ours. The roaches are defeated. Oh, this is a glorious day for the remaining humanity. Humans are the dominant species once again. Nothing made us happier than the sight of Mary Jane returning to the shelter from the surface. Unfortunately, the search was futile. We gained nothing from the excursion. Plus 10 generic disappointment points. We believe that our expedition to Wasteland must have been followed by strangers. Should be more cautious next time. Dolores can't remain thirsty for long. Blah, blah, yes. Okay, so Ted is fine. Dolores is thirsty. Mary Jane is hungry and tired. And we will send someone out. And during the night, we heard some suspicious sounds coming from behind our door. When we peeked out in the morning, we saw a leather suitcase. It has no address or name on it. We're pretty sure it's meant for us. Should we open it? Yes, you should open it. It can only be things, or empty, or a suitcase. Definitely a suitcase. Glad to accept the sudden gift, and despite our suspicions, it turned out it was just a regular tomato suit that we all know and love. Thank you, kind stranger. Okay, excellent. Mary Jane is quite hungry. When Mary Jane is tired, she becomes cranky. She should be better in a few days. Can we spare some water? Etc, etc. Ted's fine. Mary Jane is hungry. Sorry, Dolores is hungry. Mary Jane is hungry, tired, and thirsty, so you can have both. And we're going to send out Ted with, in general, we probably don't need the gas mask because the radio said that the radiation has passed for the most part. So we will take a... Might take a fire axe to be a bit different. Oh no, rifle is probably the way to go. And there we are. But this is your moment to moment. This is pretty much what you do. You get this humorous story and different chain of events, and it's a strange one because you play the first part of it and you've got a third-person gathering bit, and then you come to this. It seems an awful lot of effort for something you hardly even see. Ted left for the surface. There we go. That's fine. Let's just see if anyone needs any food or water. She is hungry. And day 20. A young lady all dressed in white has visited us today, requesting our aid. Wasting no time, she laid out a plan for what she said is a bandit camp where she claims their twin brother is being held. Seems like the young man was witness enough to challenge the biggest bandit leader to a sword fight, and now his sister is very worried. She says we definitely won't regret it if we decide to help her. I think we probably will regret it, but I am still going to send Mary Jane to give her a hand. Let's see if that was a mistake or not. So we've only got Dolores in the shelter now, and yeah, that was a mistake. She's been, I think, yes, there's been a bit of a rough and tumble there. The woman quickly called a group of our friends, and we set off for what turned out to be a successful mission. Finding the lost twin brother wasn't a problem. He was hanging on top of some antenna next to the fence, trying to escape. In his duel with the bandit leader, he lost a hand, but the group quickly tended to his injuries, and he'll be just fine. The siblings thanked 100 times and said they would definitely contact us again. So Dolores is to drink some time. Mary Jane is low and thirsty. She's pretty fatigued, and also by the look of it, oh, she's just fatigued, so that's okay. I thought she was actually injured by the look of it, and she might, normally it would say. Anyway, What's this one? Yesterday during charades, we learned that Mary Jane doesn't know how to spell anti-dis... I know what that word is and I can't say it. Anti-dis... anti-distablished Yeah, and it's Dolores sorely disappointed. She insists on home, or rather shelter schooling Mary Jane Little. Yes. Why not? Maybe they can give me some tips on that front as well. Oh. It sounds like a radio broadcast. Dolores does not mess around. What started out as a spelling exercise quickly found its way to a math revision, followed by a short physics course, and ending on tinkering with random objects in the shelter. Mary Jane looks exhausted, but we can't deny the state of our shelter has improved today. Dolores is no longer thirsty. Water is what Mary Jane needs. So Mary Jane is fatigued, thirsty, and tired. Okay, so we'll just say water. Which we've only got one of that, so I hope Ted comes up with something. And today, the music from the radio stopped abruptly, and instead we got to listen to a transmission from the army. We were almost halfway to the door when they started talking about evacuation, but it turns out there is something we need to do first. All survivors were asked to leave a sign that we are alive somewhere in the area. The exact location was given and the geographical coordinates. We need a map to establish where that is. Brilliant. So we don't have a map, so we can't use it. Brilliant. Brilliant. Oh, look at the water. The water butter was on the floor there. Just broken. Should we find the location with that map? We were wrong. Hopefully we'll get lucky next time. So, Mary Jane and Dolores. They're fine. Remember that time Mary Jane went out to scavenge supplies? When she got back, she'd had a wound on her forearm. Nothing serious, she claimed, but it looked like something had bitten her. Now the injury is looking much worse. We fear it may be infected. We have to clean it up. I have the option with an axe or first aid kit. I'm guessing the axe isn't the healing option. I'm guessing it's more the dismemberment option. I'm hoping Ted comes back with... I'm not going to use either. I'm hoping Ted comes back with a first aid kit. Well, he's just come back now. Day 24, so we've lasted quite a while. And, oh, that rifle is all kinds of Elmer Fudded. It's all banana peeled at the front. Oh, Elmer Fudd. Brilliant. Okay, Mary Jane will be fine. It's not the first time. She won't be the last time she's sick. She's looking a bit pale today, though. Ted has safely returned from his voyage to the surface. We spotted an untouched store with many products inside, even food different from tomato soup. A real treat in these post-apocalyptic times. When we were about to reach it, a terrible noise made us stop in our tracks. Something heavy fell straight from the sky, crashing into the store, destroying it completely. After the dust settled, we realised we were looking at a spaceship, just like Timmy's comics. It could be a saucerman from Mars. Why does it bear an American flag on the side and the logo of something called Astro Citizen? Could it be infiltration? Crafty little alien buggers? Under a bunch of metal space junk, we found a Toad and old teddy bear and some supplies. The bear looked disappointed. We ended up turning him around. We could not handle any of his judgment, but nice. +2 soup. So much for our rifle. It got damaged during the expedition. Our little trip to the surface might have been spotted and followed. We should be more careful. Yes, we spotted some sort of vehicle just down the street, but couldn't get a good look of it in the dark. Maybe in future expeditions will prove more fruitful. And there you are. So we will have to... Teddy's hungry, so that's fine. Dolores is thirsty and hungry, and Mary Jane is fatigued and tired. And we will send someone out, and then let's listen to the radio. But that is basically 60 seconds Reatomized. I'm guessing the original 60 seconds is similar, it just has got less stuff in it. I do find it quite funny and quite entertaining. I'm in search for just more games about bunkers. This doesn't really scratch that itch. I mean, it could be just anywhere, hence why there's a 60 parsecs game, I guess. But it is quite comical, it's quite fun, and it's quite reasonable. And I believe we are in need of a washing machine. But if you like what you see, then by all means, check the link out in the description. I'm not going to continue on because basically it's this until you either die or survive. And in my experience, that tends to be sort of in maybe 20 minutes, half an hour's time-ish or something. I've only survived once, and a couple of other playthroughs I haven't been successful, but we generally get to about day 40-ish, something like that. Don't know if that's the average experience, but either way, you know, your mileage may vary and all that. Either way, I hope you have enjoyed the video and this little sort of mess around. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.